This video is a guide for mastering character creation for the fighter class in the Solasta 2 video game.
Alright, I'm going to show you the 4 best possible builds for a fighter at first level. There are 4 different options you can go. I have them, as you can see, before you right now. The first option would be the fighter human wanderer with the magic initiate cleric. The reason I chose this is you have the fighting style defense, which adds +1 to your AC. And then I went with, I just chose medicine. Not bad to have as a fighter in case somebody goes down. But I went with the magic initiate cleric so that I could get the shield of faith to get my AC up even higher. That's beneficial. And then when you go to the background, I went with the wanderer. You hit all 3 of your major strength improvements, which are beneficial for here. Now you can choose different options. You can lower this wisdom and take this dex up if you want. But most of the time, my fighters, I plan to have plate armor, so I don't expect them to even use the dex. So that's why I pumped it into wisdom. But the main reason you want wanderer is savage attacker. That's where you roll your damage dice twice and take the highest results. Pretty badass. So let's see here. I'll give you a quick breakdown of this one real fast, show you what I chose, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, so we went fighter, we went defensive style, fighting style defense. I went human so that we get this magic initiate cleric. That will allow us to get 2 cantrips, which I usually take light and guidance, but I'll show you that later. And then I always take shield of faith. Like you said, why not have 2 more to your AC? And then next up we'll have the cleric initiate, and then we went with the wanderer. Now, one thing you can do with this abilities if you want, now I'll tell you, like if you're having like I chose for this class, if you want to try to get your strengths up higher to 18, you can. But another thing you can do here is drop that strength to a 16 and take the constitution. Let's go back here real quick. So we drop that down 1 and we take the constitution to a 17. The reason you would want the constitution at an odd number is when you get 4th level, you'll have a choice to take flawless concentration. So like if you have shield of faith, you're going to want that advantage save against the concentration checks. So that's where you'll get an extra +1 to your con, and you'll get that defeat flawless concentration. Very good. So either way, I don't hate either way if you want to pump up your strength or your con, but that's the options that you have available. Choosing your skills, you're basically just going to go strength skills at this point. Really not much else you can do there. With a high wisdom, you can get a perception here, decent perception. And then you just choose your different weapons that you want to use with this character. Obviously, this doesn't matter. I chose medicine. The languages don't matter. Here we go with the cantrips. Now, you can choose all these different cantrip options for you. Like I said, I go guidance and light. And then you have these options with the first level spells, which if you want, you don't want to take Shield of Faith. You want to put that strength to 17 and the con of 16. You can take Cure Wounds. You could take Healing Word. You could take Bane, which is also a very good one for a fighter because you're right up in the front lines, and 3 guys that are on you, you can immediately add Bane to their subtractions off of the attacks and saving throws, which is very good. So I wouldn't hate you taking Bane either here, but having a high AC in this game is huge. So I'll be going Shield of Faith with this character. Alright, so we'll move on to the second character that we have here. This character is going to have it's going to be a fighter human wanderer. The difference here is we took Magic Initiate Wizard, and I'll show you what that means. Everything else is the same as the first character except for we took Magic Initiate Wizard. So I'll show you real quick how that works. We took human, we have Magic Initiate Wizard, we're taking Wanderer. Again, I don't hate anything that you're doing here with the strength or the con. So if you wanna drop that strength to a 17 and the con to a 16, which I think is a very good thing, especially if you're going to take concentration. But with this character, you're taking the magic initiate, so you're not going to really need the concentration that you would need from the first one. So I'll show you why that is. Your skills, you can choose those. Your weapon mastery, choose that. Again, you get another skill, languages. So here we're going to go to the magic initiate. You're going to get these options here. So if you see something that you like that I didn't take, I like to have the range. So I'll go Firebolt. And then obviously if you want to take True Strike, which is really good for certain creatures, I would suggest you take that as well. So I'm going Firebolt. And another good option is the Poison Spray. But again, your range is only 30 feet, so it's not that great. And then you have these options here, which you have some really big ones here you could take. I would hate it if you took Magic Missile, but if you're a fighter, False Life, 2.4 plus 4 temporary hit points, huge, very huge. So that's your gold standard for taking the Magic Initiate Wizard with the fighter. Again, like I said, I would hate you took Magic Missile, whatever. Or Shield, Shield's a good one as well. So you get hit, you get a +5 to your AC, also very good. So it really comes down to, basically for me with these two here, the False Life and the Shield, but I would suggest False Life. And that's the second character. Again, the only difference between the first and second character is the Magic Initiate Cleric and Magic Initiate Wizard. Like I said, if you're taking the Magic Initiate Cleric, you're going to probably want your Constitution a 17, and then your Strength a 16, and then if you're doing the Cleric, I mean that's a Cleric, you want the 17 and 16. If you want the Wizard, then you just take it to a 17 and this to a 16, because you're not going to be taking Flawless Concentration later on. All right, and we'll move on to the third character. The third character is a dual-wielding character. So we come over here. We have everything exactly the same, except we're taking Magic Initiate Cleric, so we can get that Shield of Faith option. Or we can take, like I said, Bane, which is another good one for this character as well. But since we're taking two-weapon fighting, we're probably going to want that +2 to our AC that we're not going to have with the Shield. So I'll break that down for you real quick. Again, so we're taking Fighter, we're taking two-weapon fighting style, which is, if you want to do more damage and you don't really care about the AC as much, very good. With Human, again, Magic Initiate Cleric, all right. Then we hand it down here, we're going back to the Wanderer again, so we get these modifiers for the Fighter and the Savage Attacker, which is huge. And then you got your ability scores. For this one here, I would say 17, 14, 16 for this one with the 10 Wisdom. Can't go wrong with that. Again, I pumped the points already up that to make those as is. Again, choose the skills that you want. Weapon mastery, I would take either Dagger or Short Sword here. Dagger is cool because it has the Nick option, which is really good. So that's why I chose Dagger. And then, choose like something else that you want on the side. I like Longsword because it has Sap. Just awesome. And then Longbow. But again, you can move these around in the game, so these aren't like set in stone or anything. So, but that's what I would go with on that. And then again, take another skill, languages, whatever. Again, we're back to the what you're choosing for your Magic Initiate Cleric. Again, choosing Guidance and Light. Again, we're humans, so we want that Light spell, and then Guidance is always huge. If you have multiple guys with Guidance, you probably don't need it with this guy, but maybe you could take, Spare the Dying, which is also a good one. You can't go wrong with that. And then we're back to the Cleric again. So like I said, I would choose between Bane or Shield of Faith here, depending on what you want to go here. Especially want to go Shield of Faith with the two-weapon fighter. Like I said, you're going to want that +2 AC modifier. That's going to come in handy big time. So if you're going to choose Shield of Faith here, you're probably going to want to go back. Like I said, this will change off that. You'll probably want to go back to your abilities and drop this and add this. So that way, when you go back to the Shield of Faith, at 4th level, you can take Flawless Concentration, and that'll take your con up to an 18, and you'll have that advantage on concentration checks for when you're hit. So if you're going with Bane, move your Strength to a 17. If you're going with the Shield of Faith, I would go 17, make it an odd number at least. All right, and then we go on to our final character, which will be a Dwarf. Reason you'd like to have a Dwarf here is you get that you get Dark Vision, then you get the Dwarven Resilience, which is really cool. You got Dwarven Toughness, and then you got almost like it's like blind fighting, Stone Cunning. You get that Tremor Sense. So if something's going to be on the same surface as you, you'll be able to find its location, which is pretty cool for a fighter. Especially if you don't, you're not going to have see invisibility or anything, which it really isn't used in the early access. But I'm sure these abilities will come in handy at later battles and higher level fights. So we'll break this down real quick for you. We're going to go in here. We chose fighter, a fighting style. We went defense. Now, I would hate if you went great weapon or whatever, but defense, man, you just can't go wrong with it. That +1 to AC is just crucial. So we'd go defense with that. Over at the dwarf, we get all these modifiers that I talked about earlier. Again, going on down to Wanderer again, so we get Savage, Attacker, and all 3 ability scores that we would actually add up into, which makes this just awesome. So we move up to here, since we're not doing any magic initiate stuff or anything like that, because we can't, because we don't have the human option. Just stick with 17 strength here. You can't go wrong with that. And then have your dex and your wisdom right where they're at. You're not going to need intelligence or charisma at all. I mean, it's not going to be that beneficial to you. Some saves against spells, but most part, you're going to want to just come in and do damage. So again, here's our stats. You can choose your skills however you like. Again, you can choose weapon mastery however you like. Just random stuff. Got your languages. You can definitely do. And that would be everything for the dwarf. Like I said, I wouldn't hate if you took the dwarf. You get the dark vision and the dwarven resilience and the dwarven toughness and the stone cunning, which are all really good for the fighters. The only downfall is you're not going to get that shield of faith option. You're not going to get that bane option. So you kind of just figure out what you want to give up. Do you want that extra AC, or do you want to come in here and have these extra dwarven modifiers that for ancestry? So it comes down to what you want to do here. But if I had to pick one, I really like the Cleric Initiate with the Wanderer. That's my favorite. So, but all 4 options are available for you. They're all very good builds for the fighter. Just choose the one that best works for your party. Okay, this is your Dungeon Master Dreadmoor. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown on the fighter, first level character builds. I'll see you at the next video.
This is your Dungeon Master Dreadmoor. Thanks for tuning in to another Solasta 2 video clip.